Welcome back. You're watching the Daily Report. My guest is still the Honorable Dr. Gathoni Wamuchomba, Member of Parliament for Githunguri constituency, Chairperson of CIOC in the National Assembly. I've got a question here. Ask Wamuchomba if they have so far summoned the IG or CS in charge on the unconstitutional handling of the protests by the police. A police which should be a service, not a force.
Yeah, yes, we have. We have already done some summon.
Have they appeared?
And they promised to appear in the next 14 days.
Okay. From when?
I guess when they come, they will execute. Allow me not to dwell deeper because that's parliamentary. You should get the reports from the parliament.
From the parliament.
Yeah, but we are on the job. We are working. We are doing what we're supposed to do as members of parliament.
And the committee.
And the committee, yes.
So now Finance Act 2023, which is a fallback after the dropping of the Finance Bill 2024, was declared unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So should we go back to Finance Act of 2022?
Definitely, yes, because we cannot work with a vacuum.
With a vacuum.
Yeah.
So when you look at how the country has been, so these are two budget-making processes, fiscal procedures.
Yeah.
The two of them that the Kenya Kwanza government has come up with, that are the first one denied by the people, the second one declared unconstitutional by the courts. What is the problem? Why is it that there seems something is not being gotten right?
I want to be very honest with you, and I hope my party leader is watching me or listening to me, because I would love him to hear me on this one. It cannot be that the only two bills you have presented to the nation are erroneous. It cannot be that the only two bills to raise money and to help you plan the fiscal environment of this country have a problem. It cannot be that 99% of the people who presented their opinion and submissions through public participation were wrong. 99% who said they do not want the bill in 2023. And then you oversee that, do what you want to do against what they have told you, and they are the people who are described in this constitution as sovereign. Then you proceed to the next year, proceeding year, present another proposal which people overwhelmingly reject. Then there must be a problem with your advisors. There must be a problem with your treasury. There must be a problem with your members of parliament who come to you to advise you, who give you ideas. There must be a problem. It cannot be that 2 years, subsequent years, people are saying no to your financial proposal. It means either you're not consulting enough, it means your styles of presenting whatever you're presenting are wrong, it means you're not explaining to the people what is it that you want to achieve, and people are not moving with you. Let me tell you, I was once a teacher.
Yeah, okay.
When I was a very young girl, straight from the university, I went for my teaching practice. And the class that I was given had more mature boys and girls than myself because I looked a small girl. And I was given that class after that class had rioted against the teacher who was ahead of me. And then I realized for me to win these students to myself, I needed to communicate to them why they need to agree to the policy of the school so that they can continue with their learning. It took me almost a month for me to stop my lesson plans to communicate to the students why, the word why, they need to calm down so that we can continue with the syllabus. And that was the end of riots in that school. I was a very little girl. I remember the head teacher called me, the headmaster, and told me, you are the magic in this school. You came and talked to the student and they listened to you and they have moved with you to where we want you to go.
Okay.
The president may present what we don't want because the country probably requires a lot of finances. But the president needs to know that he needs to convince to the people of Kenya so convincingly so that they can bear the pain and move with him.
Okay, let's listen.
That to me is a serious goof. Very serious goof.
Okay.
He may need, even after he come up with a new cabinet, even after he comes up with all those policies I've seen trying to appease to please the Gen Zs. I have seen he has tried to add more money on TVET. He has tried to add money on value addition programs. He's introducing Kazi kwa Vijana. He's really trying to please the Gen Z. But pleasing the Gen Z without proper communication is all waste. And I can tell you this.
Okay.
You cannot present a TVET program and you are not explaining to them what would be this TVET program for. Why am I putting, for example, 14-point-something billion, which I was prepared to tell you what it is that the revised budget has done for the Gen Z so that they can also understand that we are also concerned about their issues. But there's a big problem because we are not explaining to the people. Why are we introducing e-teams, for example? Must you wait for the farmers to protest so that you can come and tell them, e-team is doing this and this and this? For example, the mother and the father who is watching me today, right now, if you ask them what is eating, they believe they say it is a Ruto's way of getting our money. They don't see as a way of growing the economy, no. So there's a very serious problem, and I don't know why President Ruto collapsed presidential delivery unit. Those were the people who are tasked with going out to the people, educating the people on what is it that the government is doing, what is the president intending to do, so that when he introduces something, for example, why did he just collapse Linda Mama without telling us what is it that we're going to replace to Linda Mama? Gathoni, as a member of parliament, may know what is it that we are doing to replace Linda Mama. But does that woman in the village who had a Linda Mama facility understand what is it that we are doing?
In all this,
so to me, I see a big gap, a gap of somebody who is thinking and overthinking for this country, a gap of somebody who is planning and overplanning for this country, ambitiously wanting to achieve, but he's not able to communicate his intent to the people he's leading. And if you're leading people, you must be on the same page with them.
So let's listen to the president. On the 15th of May, he was speaking to students from Harvard Business School who visited him at State House. Let's listen to that bite regarding the taxes.
If we are a serious state, we must be able to enhance our taxes. So my drive is to push Kenya. Possibly this year we will be at 16% from 14%. I want in my term, God willing, to leave it at between 20 and 22%. It's going to be difficult. I have a lot of explaining to do. People will complain, but I know finally they will appreciate that the money we go to borrow from the World Bank is savings of other countries. We have to begin to live within our means. If we look at our peers, and Kenyans have been socialized to believe that they pay the highest taxes. But empirical data shows Kenya, as of last year, our tax as a percentage of our revenues was 14%. Our peers in the continent is on average between 22 and 25%, which means we are way below, our taxes are way below those of our peers.
Mheshimiwa, you've listened to the president. He said he has a lot of explaining to do. It's what you're talking about.
He admits.
Okay. So then all these plans that the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, your party came along with, involved money, and of course the money was going to come from the taxes. Are these taxes are not a bad idea.
Oh, of course.
In 2002, between 2002 and 2007, President Kibaki said, tulipe ushuru tujitegemee, and Kenyans rallied behind him. Why is it a problem that the Kenyans do not seem to rally behind the president who is telling them that they are this and this and this?
Like I said, the president may mean well. He ambitiously would want to transform this country. In fact, I don't even think he sleeps, thinking of how he's going to pay these debts, thinking of how he's going to deliver the promises he overpromised during his campaigns.
Okay.
But For me, my problem is that the presidential delivery unit is not, and his communication team, they are not able to package the presidential vision and processes of delivery to the wananchi. And whenever there is a breakdown of communication, even in a family, even in a marriage, that marriage collapses. There is no system that is intact without communication. Communication is the gel between the leaders and the led community. If you do not communicate, even for me as a member of parliament, I must constantly go to my ground and communicate. Why am I introducing school feeding program? For what purpose is it? How much money am I spending? If you don't do that, people will start guessing. Oh, she's using 100 million, she's using 200 million, and maybe you're using 10 million. So I think the president needs to sit down and audit his communication style, his communication process, his communication platforms, and his audience. He may need to redefine his audience. Is standing on top of the car roof and explaining a government program and policy the best way to communicate? Is going to church after the preacher has preached, before Sadaka or after Sadaka, the right time for you to tell people about TVETs? And are the people who are supposed to be told about TVETs in that room? You know, I'm a communication expert. I can tell you there's a serious problem, and that must be sorted out. Otherwise, look at what he has said there. He has said, I would want to leave this country when our VAT is at 22%.
2022.
To 2022. But he has not been given the opportunity because he was speaking in a forum and the media captured that, but he was not given an opportunity to explain why would he want to move from 16% VAT to 22%. So the person who is watching him, and probably he's struggling with a loan, maybe the auctioneers are at your door, and then you hear the president saying, I would want to move the taxation capping from 14 to 22. Will they not riot? Will they not react? They will react. So that is why presidents are advised to have a very serious communication team which packages what the president delivers to the people and delivers to the right audience that is going to be the gatekeepers to that information and agenda setters to entrench that communication to the people that are going to receive. That is the audience. So I believe, for example, the president, when he decided that he's going to work with his MPs to slash budgets, add more money to JSS teachers, 120.7 billion, 31.3 billion to HELB, that's a lot of money, 16.2 billion to health, 3.5 billion to security officers to add their salaries. He needed to come out, not him. Communication doesn't have to come from the president all the time. Explain to Kenyans, why are we adding 3.5 billion shillings to the police salaries? Now there are people, when I was coming in, I stopped somewhere at a place called Dumberi. Nikanunua ngara, you know ngara? Ile mahindi?
Yes.
Huyo mtu mwenye aliniuzia ngara hapa aliniuliza, wewe, nilisikia president anaongeza polisi 3.5 billion, ndio watu uwe kabisa. You know. Na ni kijana mdogo, you know, I had to correct him, nikamwambia, hii ni kitu ilikuwa imeahidiwa wakati wa campaign. Wakati tulikuwa tunaomba kura, tulikuwa tumesema tutaongeza wa polisi. Kwa hivyo lazima tutimize. Akasema, why now? Where are we adding them now when they are killing our children, our daughters and our sons? You know? And let me tell you, that is the same information people have. But nobody has come out to explain to Kenyans, why are we adding 3.5 billion to security officers as salaries? As
salaries.
Why are we adding more money to, for example, HELB? It is because probably we did not do our best, and that is why maybe the Gen Zs are annoyed. So we need to make sure that we feel the promise. But you see, you just can't add, and then you go to Narok, or you go to wherever, in a public baraza, and the people you have in that baraza, most of them are hired crowd. They did not come to listen to you. No, they came to clap for you because at the end of the day, they will be paid by somebody. And And then you expect that communication to spread to the whole country and the country is with you. No, no. Communication doesn't go like that.
Okay.
And in communication, you do not select the audience. No, you pick natural crowd, natural audience. If you want to be effective in communication, don't select audience. No, go and feed natural audience information. It will be
Before,
assimilated.
yeah, before we move on, he's the president, he's your party leader.
Yeah.
Have you tried telling him this?
Sasa wewe nilikwambia hata kwa WhatsApp usiko, alafu sasa unaniuliza nini?
But you know you have his number.
Of course I have his number, but you see now, because I voted no for the first finance bill,
Yeah.
I don't call myself as a buddy that I would call and say this. Probably, maybe he can't even pick my call.
Are you concerned of being quote unquote the rebel in the party?
I've seen a lot of, even the other day I saw a newspaper writing the rebel within. I am not a rebel.
Oh, okay.
Surely I am just opinionated. I am just true to myself.
Okay.
That's the honest me. Unfortunately, when I went into politics, there's a mzee who told me, I don't think you'll survive in politics because you're too honest to be in politics. And I told him, I am honest to be in politics because I want to change the game. And I am there to change the game.
Talking about honesty, what's happening on the mountain?
The mountain is rattled. Yes.
Why is that?
Because the mountain was over-expectant. The mountain expected to get pampered because we gave out our vote to somebody who was outside our box. You know our box?
Yes.
So the mountain wanted to be treated like a bride. You know the way a bride is treated, with favors. We wanted to be pampered, only for us to get married and find ourselves on the corridor. Have you ever read of a story of a bride who was married? Beautiful wedding, colorful wedding, pomp and color. Then immediately after the wedding, it fizzles. That is where we are. The mountain never expected that we are going to form a government and give our votes as many as we did, 47%, and get this kind of bashing and treatment. Yeah. But I think I saw that coming.
You saw it coming?
Yeah, I saw it coming a long time ago.
So is this Kikuyu unity?
The mountain, let me tell you who the mountain is.
Yes.
The mountain is that bride you must have money to pamper for you to sustain the relationship. The mountain is that very expensive bride that you married, and she has to do her nails, has to do her expensive weave, whether you have the money or not. Yes.
So is Kikuyu unity becoming a faraway dream?
A faraway dream? No. In fact, the tougher it's become, the more stronger the community becomes. Yeah. So I expect to see a more solidified voice of the Kikuyus, or rather of the mountain. Let me say the mountain because the mountain are Kikuyus and many other small tribes.
Yes.
The more squeezed they become, the more scared they become, the more threatened they feel, the more isolated they feel, the more they solidify. So in 2027, I see a more solidified mountain than ever. Yes. Yes.
So who will be, is there, just like the Gen Z who have no leader, is the lack of a kingpin causing all this?
Who said we don't have a kingpin?
Who is the kingpin?
But we've had the kingpin forever. Our kingpin has not changed. Has he?
Who is it?
Uhuru Kenyatta is our kingpin. Yes. Uhuru Kenyatta is our kingpin. We have not changed our kingpin.
This kingpin that you've not seen in public limelight for a while.
It doesn't have to be. Even when he became the kingpin, he was not even the president, by the way. The day we declared him the kingpin, he was not the president. He was not even at a strategic position.
So is he guiding this so-called mountain?
No, he has not guided for a long time, and that is why the mountain is franchised.
Disenfranchised.
Yeah, disenfranchised, that's the word I was looking for. So I think it's not fair for us to say we don't have a kingpin. It's only fair to say that with time, the mountain will solidify.
Okay.
It will come back to one. Yes.
The visible figure from the mountain would be the second in command, but now there is talk of his impeachment.
I don't want to speak about those whole stories of impeachment and because I think those are political gimmicks, and I think I posted it sometimes in X, and I saw a lot of excitement and reaction. I said, to me, I'm thinking this whole rumor of impeachment, rumor of we are going to arrest MPs that are associated with the deputy president because they sponsored Gen Z protests. The stories of, oh, we are going to undo so-and-so in the party, we are removing so-and-so in the party. I think to me, all this is a decoy to silence the protesters and their noise and to kind of cover up the issues that the protesters have been talking about. That, to me, I think there is no solid reason as to why we should say that we are impeaching or we are. I am just thinking it's a style or a way of cover. It's a cover-up, yeah. And whether we impeach or we don't impeach, the Gen Zs have said it. Something is wrong in this country. The Gen Zs have told us they are tired of our corruption politics. The Gen Zs have told us they are tired of those historical politics of Sijui, Nyanza working with the Central and Central working with Rift Valley and Rift Valley working with Coast. You know, those balancing tactics. Yeah. These Gen Zs have told us they don't care about party, they don't care about tribes. And that is why, by the way, to me, hii maneno ya cabinet, I'm not bothered. Whether they put, whoever they put, I'm not bothered in terms of tribe. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
Let them put whoever it is, as long as that person is going to work for Kenyans, that person is a Kenyan, and that person has the meritorious achievement for them to serve. You know, they have the qualifications, they have integrity, qualifying them to serve. To me, that's my issue. Yeah. My issue is that I don't care how many Kikuyus are in that cabinet, because even previously we've had many Kikuyus in that cabinet. Have they delivered to us? Are we still crying of victims? Are we still crying of taxation? Are we still crying of money being reallocated from this budget to this supplementary budget? The same issues we've had when we really needed help are the same problems we have when we have cabinet secretaries who comes from the mountain. So for me, it doesn't matter. Because even when they were there, we were still crying. Even now, we still continue crying. The problem is not the cabinet secretaries, like I said. The problem is bigger than cabinet secretaries. Let's
have some feedback. Some comments have come in on SMS before you end up, because I have a few minutes before you end up. You didn't say your name, but says on our SMS platform, we can't move on with the president because state money and property is stolen left and right. I'd like to combine the issues of your constituency into one. So someone asks, ask Mathe, when will she bring ICT hubs to our wards? When will Githunguri TTI be operationalized? It has been lying idle for 2 years now.
That's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, TTI is already functional. We already have learners in it. I have already put computers into the place. I put chairs and desks into the place. We already have 4 teachers posted in the TTI, and it is functional and moving. It is functional. Yeah, I actually even have already paid bursaries for the first cohort of learners from Githunguri.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Number 2, he has asked about the ICT hubs. Yes. The ICT hubs are coming. Every ward will get 1 ICT. But as we speak right now, we still don't have the money. Every other constituency, not only Githunguri, we don't have the money. We are waiting for the money. Once the money is in, and our proposals are taken in, and remember we have to do public participation in every ward, then we start moving with the project. Okay, still on your constituency, Moses Waweru. Talking of roads, ask Mheshimiwa why the road from Nyambari, Lari, Githunguri has never been made for many years. Very impassable road. That road has been under construction for the last 9 years. It was started on 9 years ago. President Ruto, when he was the deputy, is the one who came to launch that road, I think in 2018, I remember. But it had already been started. Okay. One of the reasons why I have been very upset in Parliament is because President Ruto had promised during campaigns that every project he finds, having been started by his predecessor, he's going to give them priority to complete. The Mau Mau roads, a road like that, Githunguri Uplands Road, and many other projects that he found already started. Unfortunately, when we went for the first finance bill, money was put in new roads. abandoned the old roads and incomplete roads projects and pumped money in new projects. And that is one of the reasons why I have been saying no, because you cannot come and start fresh roads, yet the old roads have not been done.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is one of the projects, and every time I make noise a little, the contractor comes back on site for 2 months. He's promised to be given money. He doesn't get any money. He packs off and leaves. So he comes and does sections, 200 meters, tarmac, and then he disappears. He comes again, 200 meters, and disappears. And that's not only in Githunguri, it is everywhere. Yeah, and that is why people are complaining, because, I mean, what happened to our Mau Mau roads in central Kenya?
Okay.
All the roads, including the Ken Omarwa road, we were supposed to have finished and commissioned. We still have patches of those roads not done.
There is Barbatov from Githunguri. What plans are there for Kibichoi Police Station?
Kibichoi Police Station is my next project.
Okay.
It's really pathetic. I've already done what was really pressing, that was Ikinu Police Station, and I've finished. So I am hoping that my next financial year, actually for the next 2 financial years, I'm going to allocate money for Kibichoi Police Station.
Indeed. I am James from Komothai. What plans does Mhesh have regarding to construction of modern toilets at Gathoni Primary School and upgrading of Kibichoi Police Station? I think you've handled the police
Gathoni
station.
Primary School, when I came in as an MP, I found a pending bill. And I had, first of all, to clear pending bill for the first financial year.
Okay.
And I can't clear pending bill in the same school and do a fresh project in the same financial year. It will be flagged. So they'll have to wait for me to come back now next financial year.
Okay.
And if there is a dire need for us to do it, then we can do it.
Kennedy Ariembi.
And I think that the school has already presented their request. I've seen their request.
So.
But unfortunately, because they had a very huge pending bill that was left by my predecessor, I have to pay the pending bill.
Before you start
because
a
in
project.
CDF, we normally don't have pending bills. We make sure we clear all pending bills before you start a fresh project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kennedy Ariembi from Embakasi Further. What's your view on term and age limits for all elective and appointment offices?
60.
60.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I wonder why the president is recycling leaders into cabinet appointments, yet the Gen Zs clearly stated they want at least at the age of 60 you retire so that you can give them the opportunity. So for me, I think on that one, I support the Gen Z.
Absolutely.
60 enda ukalime, ama wenda ukafanya consultancy. Yeah, hata mimi siko mbali sana.
Uko mbali. How far? So, Mheshimiwa, I mean, we are out.
The other day, the Gen Zs, I don't know what I wrote. No, I saw them analyzing people's ages. So I said, hey, these Gen Z are just the real deal. How old am I? Oh, you should have seen the kind of comments I got. Some were calling me ancestor, vintage buddy.
So where do you fall? Which category?
I wonder. Look at my face, just judge by my face.
Judge by your face.
No, I was told by somebody, by the way, you don't use the face to judge. You look at the hands.
And the knuckles.
And the knuckles.
So, Mheshimiwa,
I don't know whether I am a vintage or I'm an ancestor. I don't know.
Mheshimiwa, I'd like you to speak to Kenyans
on
the national issues as well as your closing remarks as well, looking at the budget and what way forward.
Yeah.
You know, in a minute or two, especially, and this is your camera, to be able to speak to Kenyans even as we bid them a good night.
I want to, first of all, thank the young people of Kenya for taking charge and realizing that your future generation matters. We are sorry as your parents and as your elder sisters and brothers for letting you down. You clearly pointed it out during your demos and your protests that we have let you down. Thank you for coming out to the space and telling us exactly what we didn't want to hear. Now that you have told us, you also need to come out and tell us how you want us to achieve to the deliverables that you have given us as your political class and as your parents. We also want to remind you that your life matters. So whatever it is that we are going to do, remember that life is precious. We also want to remind the ruling class and the political class that Kenya is a country that is governed by the rule of law. This constitution must be respected. We must operate within the framework of this constitution. And therefore, if we want a Kenya tomorrow governed by the rule of law, we must abide by this constitution. I also want to remind the advisors and the planners of the economy of Kenya that even as you plan, even as you advise and come up with your proposal, remember Kenya is for all of us. The over 50 million Kenyans, we belong here. We deserve to be included into the plans. We needed to be consulted on your plans, and we need to be convinced on their plans so that we can all move together. Remember, Kenya is the pride of democracy in Africa. We must struggle and strive to uphold democracy in this country. Thank you very much, woman for the job.
Woman for the job. Which job?
You ask?
Yes.
I have many jobs. I told you I'm a Mathe. I have to do the job of Mathe in Githunguri like never before. I am a consultant. I have to do my consultancy in the media like never before. I am a leader, a woman leader. I have to carry the women with me like never before. I am a mother, including of those Gen Zs. I must carry them and advise them and protect them and defend them like never before.
Like never
that is why I say I'm always the woman for the job.
For the job.
Yes.
Indeed. And of course, some news in. We would like to congratulate Faith Kipyegon and rather Beatrice Chebet, who brought Kenya's first goal in Paris with winning the 5,000 women's final. So Mheshimiwa, where is the place of women? Women. Where is the voice of women, especially from the mountain, in all these discussions? Are they involved?
In terms of sports or athletics?
In the national conversation of
we are there. We are present. We may have had another generation of women who are now like going down, but there is another new generation of women that are coming up, the Wamuchombas. Yes. So we are there.
You're there?
Yes, we are there. We are present.
Woman for the job.
Woman for the job.
We shall be finding out which job this is.
And Githunguri wanasema Mathe.
Mathe.
And then you know what I normally do? When they call me Mathe, I normally wear long dresses. So I swing my dress like that, and then I touch my kakofia, and the boys love it.
And this is the dress you are with in Githunguri?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, sure.
This is the dress. Let me stand here. The dress. This is how,
and you can go to the front.
Here. Where? Which camera?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time I go to the village and we do everything and we finish, and then the jeshi is the boys, the young boys in the village. So naambia so kwaheri, Mungu awabariki. Wanasema Mathe. Alafu nafanya hivi.
Mheshimiwa, quite an hilarious evening we've had with Honorable Dr. Gathoni Wamuchomba, Member of Parliament for Githunguri constituency. I am George Maringa. I wish you a good night. You can also wish them a good night.
Thank you. I wish you a lovely night.
And
Peace.
of course, stay safe and be kind to one another.
Thank you.
It was quite